So we are leaving Coffs Harbour.
Yep.
The Charchinator's in the driver's seat.
The Tonkinators.
The Tonkinators down there, tethered to the table leg as usual.
Yep.
Taking a little while to settle in, and we are
Heading to Brizzy.
heading back to Brisbane.
Well, we hope we are.
We hope we are, because this is the early stages of the great diesel famine of 2026.
Yeah.
After the war, and everyone's just started to panic. By the time you see this, it may have settled down, or we may be walking everywhere.
Yeah, Coffs Harbour, Coffs Harbour jetty, which where all the ships get their fuel, the trawlers and that, sent out a notice last night that they're out of fuel.
Yeah, they're out of marine fuel.
Had to go to Yatala or
no.
Was it Yatala and
Yatla's Queensland.
No, but they said
Kempsey and Port Macquarie.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was somewhere there. Anyway, all right. Squirrel.
That's what happens when you retire.
Yeah.
So we're heading. We've only got 275 kilometres of diesel to get to Brisbane, and that's definitely not enough. So we have to fill up somewhere. And we're hoping the Ampol Foodery, the new one north, from Coffs Harbour.
On the M1, has got fuel.
Yeah, so we're going to just check out the prices on the way back, and just see what happens.
Yeah,
we thought we'd film, because if we don't, something's bound to happen. Yeah,
and if we get up there and there's no fuel, we're going to turn around and come back.
Yeah.
So
we'll push it back.
Yeah.
At least it's downhill from up there.
From Coffs Harbour. from up there. Oh yeah, I get you. Yeah, righto. Wish it was.
All right.
Okay, ciao.
I've got to go and think up another joke.
Righto. Oh God. What's that? What's to stick that right up my ear? You'll get my earwax.
It's joke time.
It's joke time.
Yeah. Wait till the GPS finishes talking.
She's finished talking.
She should throw in a few jokes. Okay, so Chachi.
Yeah.
Why did the tomato go out with a prune?
Why did the tomato go out with a prune?
Yes.
I've no bloody idea.
Because he couldn't find a date.
Oh, God.
What do you think, Tom? Laugh.
Tonky says, I just got 3 hours of driving. I don't want to laugh.
Yeah, three more hours of this.
Don't like driving in the motorhome. It's annoying me. I can't see out the window.
You don't want to see out the window, Tonk. It's okay. It's just full of roadways.
Yeah, gee, have a look at this place, eh?
Yeah.
What'd they say? Another year of it.
Yeah,
it's done.
Like that. It'll be good when that bypass goes through Coffs Harbour.
Yeah, what's true?
It'll take a lot of the traffic.
Yeah, well, it's very messy. But anyway, anyone that's driven down this way, you'll know what it's like going through Coffs Harbour.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah, the moment of truth.
The moment of truth.
We just passed the Shell on the right-hand side. The diesel was $2.40. So this is the one that we're hoping. What do we got? $2.43. Is that
$2.40.9. $2.40.9.
Yeah. Or amplified diesel. There must be 2 different types of diesel. Oh, that's not too bad, I guess.
No.
At least we're getting some. That's
Yeah.
that's the main thing.
At least we'll fill it up. The main thing.
We were a little concerned we might not.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look at that, we've got a bay too. How lucky. Oh, we've got everything. We've got a bay.
Yep.
Amplified diesel, that's what we want.
Righto.
Premium diesel we need. Amplified. Right.
Good stuff.
Turn left, A1, towards Grafton.
So that's all right. We got the amplified diesel, $2.43.
Yeah.
Awful.
Considering when we left Canowindra, it was $1.69.
Yeah, that's a
70.
big
So what's
difference.
that? 73 cents a litre.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to make it hard for people travelling because especially the big gas guzzlers like Chevys and those, you know, those big Rams and that, because they burn 23, 24 litres 100. This thing, at least, even towing, does about 14.5 litres 100. So it's still that, but I mean, if you're 100 litre tank and you've got to add another 70 or 80 cents to it at the moment, it's $80.
Yeah.
So it adds up, and you like that is full now, and then we get around a range of about 605, 620 20 kilometres per tank.
Yep.
So if you're travelling fast, or even if you're travelling slow now, it's going to cost a lot more money.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will have to start travelling a bit slower, won't they?
Yeah, well, they might have to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing for us is we've got our tank full. We're on our way to Brisbane. We may have to change our plans. It just depends on how long this
Yeah, well, like I said,
diesel shortage war thing goes on.
Yeah, because we're talking about heading up to see my son in Mackay. The best thing about it, at least we've still got a base at home. So if worst comes to worst, we're stuck there for a while.
We're very lucky there. We're very fortunate.
Yeah.
But we're sort of anticipating, if it does carry on, like you said, people are going to start travelling slower. They're going to, because of the added cost, they're going to start taking advantage of all of those free donation showground type campgrounds rather than the more expensive options.
Yeah, and also, yeah,
and so that, and they're all the places that we frequent, so that
they're going to get busier.
They may get busier and busier, so we might be better off just staying put.
Staying put for a little while and see what happens.
How it goes.
Yeah, because the other thing too, even though there's time limits on those, it just means that they're going to be frequented more. And then coming into the winter months, you get the southern exodus that go up north anyway, up to Queensland and the warmer places. So yeah, interesting times ahead. So hopefully this thing doesn't last very long.
And then also, just to add more to the issue, is all that flooding and everything.
Yeah, a lot of damage.
They're looking at relocating the big red bash to another area because they don't expect that site to dry out by the time July comes around. So. Yeah,
and it was funny just seeing some of the places we went end of last year, like Gayndah and Eidsford, Krakow.
Gavidgen.
Yeah, all those areas have copped a lot of water, and it's not so much the flooding, I guess it's the damage afterwards. So yeah, interesting times ahead, eh?
It is, but you have to be, I guess, resilient and flexible. And
yeah, I guess one good thing is we were never going to sell our house, and here's probably another example of why sometimes you may need a base, because you might get stuck in these other areas if they run out of fuel.
Yeah.
And they say, like, it's 2,000 kilometres from home. Well, it's a long way back if you can't get fuel along the way, or you can't be guaranteed fuel. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, time will tell, I guess, on that one.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, ciao. Oh. Howdy.
We are back.
A sneaky episode.
Another sneaky episode. These things never go to plan, do they?
No, they don't.
So we've arrived back in Brisbane.
Yes.
As you would have seen at the start, we were on our way to Brisbane.
From Coffs.
Leaving Coffs Harbour.
Yep.
We've been back for about 1.5 weeks now.
Yes, we have.
And since then, war has broken out overseas.
Yeah.
And we've been watching the situation closely. So we had intended on staying here for about
3 weeks.
3 weeks or so, getting those things that we have previously told you done, the spoiler and, a few
doctors,
housekeeping stuff.
Visiting friends, blah, 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 blah.
But we've decided to stop travelling for now.
Yep. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One obviously is the fuel problem.
Yeah.
And it's probably the biggest one at the moment. So obviously availability. And also, as you know,
the price rise,
and the prices are going through the roof.
So we've been sort of doing some research, and I guess what we're thinking the impact of the war. I mean, nobody knows, obviously.
Yeah, no one knows.
And we have been waiting to record this episode because things are changing daily.
Yeah.
We think that the impact will be for the travelling community is that travellers will have to start to slow down as they can't absorb the cost of the fuel.
Yep.
In turn, and then also because of the cost, that reduces how much they can spend on camp fees and caravan parks. So we would assume that they'll start taking advantage of the free camps and donation camps, showgrounds, all of the cheaper, the lower cost places which we usually use.
Yeah, we use them predominantly because obviously we have a bit of an aversion to caravan parks anyway. But so. In that situation, when we pull up, it's going to get crowded.
Yeah, and possibly as fuel starts to become more scarce, people will start having to overstay those limits.
Yep.
Of, say, there's a maximum of 3 days. If you have no fuel, well, people won't be able to move on.
Yeah.
So, and fuel's going to become harder and harder to find.
Yeah. Considering that the fuel, even now in some country towns, is they're not getting it. Now that's obviously independents delivering to them, and they're not getting the fuel back at the main depots. But in saying that, if you're not on a time frame and you can stay at a free camp for 2 months, well, so be it. But you still got to get food. You still got to get provisions, and if those provisions aren't flowing into town, or they're being used up by the travelling community where the locals might need it.
Yeah, that's right. And we love visiting those small towns, and we love highlighting that and trying to encourage people to go out to those small towns. And this is a bit of a balance where we like to highlight those towns and try and draw income into the town. But in this circumstance, I would imagine that those people, if they've got a very limited supply of fuel, they're not going to want us rocking up there and filling our tank.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, if one...
because the coffee and the donut that we buy, in the coffee shop is just not going to cut it. It's not going to put it back into the...
No, and the thing is, if you get like one motorhome, but work on a principle, you get 10 people go through and they each take 100 litres of fuel. Well, there's 1,000 litres. Yeah. They might only get 20,000 litres delivered to that town. Who knows?
Yeah.
So those got to be careful.
Local farmers, or the people there needing to get to work or take their kids to school, they need it more than we do.
Yeah.
So I guess this just highlights another one. It's a really, really good example of what we've been banging on for a long time about having a contingency plan.
Yeah.
And having that home to go back to, and having a plan B when things go pear-shaped.
Yeah, because if you remember the last one, we were actually going to head up to Mackay and see my son up there. But in saying that too, my son lives in a normal house. We can't just pull the motorhome into his place because there's no room there. So we'd have to go and stay somewhere. And then we're in the same situation again where if we want to stay in caravan parks, that's fine. But it's getting there and getting back. We've got to be back in May for a wedding. So if we were to leave and then we weren't able to get back, that could be a whole new game plan. So it's all these little things, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better.
No.
It just seems to be getting worse or the same.
And as the fuel supplies start to become scarcer and scarcer, and they have rationing. It really doesn't matter, like if you're a traveller on the road, it doesn't matter how cashed up you are. You could have all the money in the world, but if you rock up to your next destination and there's no fuel, you're just like everybody else, and it's the big equaliser, isn't it? It
is,
that if you can't move, you can't move. So we just think it's wiser for us at the moment just to stop. And just see what happens.
Yeah, and as Susie said, the motorhome's here, so we've still got it. If things start to loosen up a bit, then we'll start doing our travelling again. But at the moment, we think it's best for the local people out there, and as she said, a pie and a drink aren't going to cop them pulling their fuel out of their town.
No.
And I reckon, and I might be wrong here, and you can tell me if I am, but I think some of these little local towns will start getting a little bit peeved.
Yeah.
If people come in there with their big caravans and their Rams and their motorhomes like ourselves and start pumping in 100, 150 litres of fuel.
Yeah.
And no matter if it's $3 or $4 a litre and they're still doing it, they've got to replace that, and that could be very difficult for them.
And I mean, who knows, that it may come a time where we do have to start, they do start saying, okay, fuel, the diesel particularly, they start using it just for the trucking industry, just for emergency services. It may end up getting to that we can't get it anyway. So
I went into the markets the other day just to visit all the crew, and the problem there is that the market has 4,500 employees there. Every single truck and forklift in the market is run by diesel or gas. So they're even in the situation where they don't know what's going to happen, and there's not a big storage facility of diesel at the Brisbane markets. It's all bought through the the independents and the major fuel people. And we're also talking to another lady that said that they run a small bus company. It's not a major bus company. It's not small, but it's not massively big. And they said that they've factored in an extra $1 million in fuel if this thing keeps going over budget.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you an idea, and that's just two people that we know. And the markets is the place where you get all your fruit and vegetables and your food.
Yeah,
so
there's your food supply.
Yeah, so that'll be an essential service. So you could just imagine if none of those trucks, and the company I work for had like 13 trucks on the road, pretty well 24/7. They do night deliveries and day deliveries. So those trucks are running 24/7, maybe a 2 to 3 hour window that they're down. So they're running consistently, and each day they burn through, close in their deliveries, around about 150 litres of fuel a day. So if you imagine that by 13, and then imagine it by 6 days a week, 7 days a week, because I guess Sunday night. You can see how much fuel just one company works just to keep food out there for all you people. So it's hard times. And
so if you haven't thought about it, start thinking about it, of where you're going to go and
the impact it might have on you.
The impact it might have on you, because the last thing that we'd want to see is travellers stuck out there not being able to get anywhere.
We've had a few of our followers and subscribers actually contact us and say that they're planning trips. One person in particular is going down to South Australia. It's a 1,000 kilometre or more in thing, and he's actually having second thoughts about it now.
Yeah.
Purely because he's more worried about getting home or getting there and then getting stuck.
Yeah. So I really feel for the people who have, say, put in for long service leave, or they've booked, say, Spirit of Tasmania, or I've heard of that.
But just even Easter coming up for everyone out there.
Like, Easter holidays,
there's the amount of people that we've read on posts where caravan parks said there've been massive cancellations because they're worried, and that'll put an absolutely massive strain on fuel supplies, because it's an added bone. It's another added thing on for Easter. Everyone not everyone, but you imagine a majority of the people go away with their families, so that's fuel that they would never ever use except for those 4-day break.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a lot of people out there either second thinking it, or they're going to get up there and then get stuck. And
I guess okay, so it's annoying and frustrating to have to cancel a holiday that you've had planned, but it would be nothing on the frustration and disappointment if you got stuck.
Oh yeah, like I mentioned, people have booked like Double Island, Fraser Island, which is about 3 or 4 hours away from us here. The service stations around those areas. I can pretty well put I'm not a gambling man, but I'll put $1,000 at all those service stations around the area going on to Fraser and off Fraser are going to run out of fuel. And over Easter, I don't think there's going to be massive emergency refills, especially in the condition it is now. So you might find a lot of people get up to Fraser and Double Island Point, then get off the island, and then go to the service stations that are around there, which are few, but not hundreds of them. And they get to that servo and there's no fuel. And then what do? You got a 3-hour, 4-hour trip back to Brisbane, and if you haven't got enough fuel to get out of Noosa and those, you're stuck. So unless you've got massive big tanks, and I'd hate to know what they're paying for fuel on Fraser Island. If you go up there, you'd be up for around about $5-6 a litre, I reckon, because even when it's normal prices down here, they're normally sitting on $2.53 a litre anyway. Anyway, so look, that's food for thought.
It is, and so it really is chow for now.
Yeah, well, we've got one more episode.
There's one more episode, so it's not tomorrow. It's the next following Saturday.
Yeah,
so
we have one more episode.
We have already gotten the can. So and then from then on, it's.
You'll see me on Facebook, and we'll do a little bit on Facebook and that. We'll keep going, but we've always been in the now for episodes, so we've never had like 20 episodes up our sleeve because we like to keep it current and try to keep it relevant to the time period. So we've got that one extra episode coming up in Saturday week, and then we'll be taking a break. We're really sorry. We don't want to do it.
But
under the circumstances, we've got to think of the outback where a lot of our little towns we go to.
Yeah.
And we've got to think of them, and also we've got to think of us too. I mean, we don't want to get stuck in the middle of nowhere, especially if there's something emergencies. We've got 3 elderly people still that we've got to keep an eye on. And we don't want to be stuck in bum where.
Okay, so thank you
very much for everyone
for watching
and
supporting us. Go back and look at some of our old episodes.
Yeah, I know. Some of them are boring, but
I know.
I look
They're
back
really cringy. I can't even watch them.
They are cringy, some of those. But look, thank you very much. We're still around. We're not going anywhere in that. Well, we're not going anywhere.
No, literally.
when things settle down and the world doesn't go crazy for a while, we'll definitely be back to see you. But thanks very much for subscribing and following and supporting us. We really appreciate it, and we'll be back soon.
Okay, ciao for now.
Ciao for now.